I know now. Am I live now? Am I here? Okay, I'm in. All right. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, guys. Wow. That is weird. I started streaming to something else. I have no idea. I literally just had like 10 minutes of talking, and now I've got to go through everything again. Holy cow. Thank you guys so much for waiting. Wow. I don't know what happened. I must have clicked something wrong. I was streaming to something else. Goodness gracious. My apologies, guys. That's how tired I am. 6 hours of sleep in the last 2 days. All right. You guys can hear me? Okay, good. I'm sitting here. I was literally giving a presentation. I've got the live chat, and it looks like, okay, everything's fine. I thought it was kind of weird that no one put one in the chat, but I'm like, okay, I'll just keep going. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so I gotta start over. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, Alina, for becoming a member. We're gonna, sorry, accidents happen. So, okay, so we were looking for Dylan Rounds yesterday. Me and my cousin went out there because we live in Salt Lake City, Utah. So we left early yesterday morning. We hit some nasty storm going in. Luckily, it let up when we got there, so that was nice. It was still pretty windy, which was kind of tough because we were flying a drone, and with flying a drone in wind, it causes it to suck up more power. So, but we were able to get about 40 minutes approximately of drone footage. We went to three different locations. We did a couple of washes and just a couple other places, but I'll do a little Google Earth for you guys to show you exactly where we looked for Dylan Rounds. And for those that might be new to this case, this is Dylan Rounds. He was last seen. It's been updated. He was last seen on the 26th in person. He used his debit card at the Saddle Sore Bar and Grill on the 26th. Apparently it was the 27th, but then the person that said that, I guess can't be trusted, so they're moving that back to the 26th. But he was last heard from on the 28th. He made a phone call to his grandmother. It was a quick phone call early in the morning, I believe, and he said that it was going to rain, so he had to get his grain truck inside so the seed wouldn't get wet. So yeah, so we're from Utah, so we went out there yesterday morning, got a bunch of footage, got back fairly later than we wanted to because we broke down. I busted a tire. I think I actually busted two tires but luckily we made it back so in one piece. So overall, it was a great trip. Hopefully we got something. I mean, obviously we want him to be alive, but you got to keep your expectations. But so we'll see what we got. It's kind of hard to because when you do have a camera, you got your phone when you're controlling the drone, but you really can't see, and we filmed in 4K. That's why it takes so long to extract everything. That's why we haven't really watched much. So before I get into the drone footage, I'll just show you just real quickly the town. And so, as you notice, I don't have my borders up, so that way we can watch a bigger screen, because like I said, we want to check out this drone footage. The more eyes, the better. And so, as you know, Montello was the last place he was physically seen. He used his debit card at the bar. So this is Montello. It's a pretty small town. It's 5 blocks deep, 5 blocks out. So it's just like a 5 by 5 block little area here. So this is Montello here. And we're just going to skip forward. I'm just going to show you the last place he was seen. Used a debit card, I should say. So this is the Saddle Sore Bar and Grill. And so He apparently last used his debit card on the 26th here, which would have been a Thursday. You have your parking here, and you have your parking right here. So we kind of just pulled up for a second. And then we kind of went down the street just to kind of see. We did see this, was just pretty crazy. So this is all made of like glass bottles and stuff. It's pretty wild. I've got a lot of extra footage for the members coming up. And I'm going to be changing the memberships a little bit. There's going to be a lot more member-only videos for the upper tiers. But I'll do a community post on that. So, but yeah, this is pretty wild. A lot of glass bottles, designed some buildings here. And then they've got this kind of castle look thing going on. It's pretty cool looking. Had some creepy vibes. Especially when you see like dog bones or, you know, chew toys on this telephone pole here. But, so that's just down the street from the bar and grill. And so, but yeah, we'll be uploading some of this kind of footage for the members. Oh, that's a good question, Rainbow. Oh, so also, I'm also going to be playing the Nancy Grace interview as well. So while we're watching the drone footage, we'll kind of listen to the Nancy Grace interview, and she talks about the case. So we'll kind of listen to that for those that might be newer to the case. So let's see. Let me show you Google Earth real quick and just kind of show you what we took here. So this is Montello right here. And so this red line is the path we took. So this is Highway 233. And this is the Nevada. So this is Nevada. This is Utah. This line here is the kind of like the border here. So we actually had to wrap around coming from Salt Lake. So we actually had to come from Wendover and wrap around into Lucin. So zooming in here. So we came up in here and we went down south. And as you can see, we came into Lucin. This is the Transcontinental Railroad right here. And we did see the train multiple times. Actually, if you saw my trailer, you see we kind of... It was weird. Right when we got there, we stopped right here for a minute. And just as we got there, we were going to do a little bit of filming. Because there's kind of some... As you can see, there's a wash right here. And I thought that would be kind of a place if you were going to hide a body, because it's kind of hard to get to. So we were kind of looking there, but it's weird because I was standing on the tracks and I'm like thinking to myself, God, I wonder if this train comes. Hope I don't get hit. And sure enough, I look up and there's the train. So it came by quite often. So then we headed south here. And I'll show you where we are. So his... Does it make sure you can see it? Okay, so Dylan's spot is... So this is where he parked his green truck, right in here. So as you can see, we weren't too far away. And we wanted to search kind of more like 5-6 miles out. And so we went down south here. This is Lion Mountain. That we met some locals here. Very nice. They kind of gave us just the rundown of the place and what to look out for, like snakes and scorpions and stuff like that. So they were very nice people. Let us use the property to get on there and do our thing. So our first thing that we wanted to do, click on it here, is check this wash here. So this was our first, because we kind of detailed our plan beforehand. So we wanted to check this wash. So let's see, I think it's this one here. Oh, thank you, Celio, so much for becoming a member. Thank you so much. So as you can see, Nick is my cousin, and he is the pilot. While he was flying the drone, I was in the wash walking with the camera myself. And like I said, this is in 4K. And so we did take a lot more wider shots. That way we can always zoom in on stuff and not really lose quality. So you'll see that sometimes we're kind of higher up, but we can always zoom in and stuff. I can't do it right now, but I can do it, if we spot something. But while we're watching this, if you guys spot anything, just let me know in the chat. Or if you're rewatching this, let me know and put like a timestamp so I can go back and look at it. And I can zoom in. But so this is the wash that's just in front of Lion Mountain here. And let me get...
I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Fox Nation and Sirius XM 111. I'm talking about teen boy Dylan Rounds. Take a listen to our friends at Fox 13.
This land in Lucin, Utah might not look like much, but to 19-year-old Dylan Rounds, it was everything.
This is the pond he dug out. He talked to me about planting trees around it and stocking fish in it, and it was just one of his little dreams.
Now it's been almost a week and a half since Dylan last returned to his camper.
This wash wasn't too deep.
Justin says his son was last seen Memorial Day weekend at the Saddle Sore Saloon, a bar 30 miles west in Montello,
Let me pause this real quick. So,
I'm convinced.
one of the things I did, just real quick, and I'll start playing the interview, is as you know, I covered the Brandon Lawson case, and, it took 8.5 years to find his remains. And it was Jason Watts who went out with the search team to find his remains. And so before we left, there's not a lot of information to go off, but I thought, who better than to get some advice from, and that was Jason Watts. And so we did kind of a stream, kind of like a Zoom meeting, and we looked at Google Earth and decided, what's the best game plan to, search. I was picking his brain, like, if it was you running the search, what do you think you would spot out? And this is one of the first things that kind of caught his attention, was this wash. So that's why we went to this one here. And like I said, he's up here filming. I'm actually in the wash, walking it as well. This we checked this because one thing you want to look for is like boards or anything that might cover something. So I think that I checked because it did look like somebody tried to like cover something up. Yeah, this is 4K. Yeah, I thought criminal. Yeah, this is in 4K. And so, like I said, we could get a wider shot, kind of higher up. That way, if there is something suspicious, we can zoom like right in and see what it is. But each of these videos are about 10 minutes, so they're not too long. But obviously, the more area we can cover, then we know, it's most likely not this area if he is out there. Oh, do I need to take Nightbot off? Is Nightbot being a pain in the butt? I can do that real quick. Let me take Nightbot off real quick. I'm still working the bugs on that. Okay. Sorry if you got timed out by Nightbot. I'm still tweaking it a little bit. So I'm going to play,
that it's foul play. Every vehicle he has, a retractor, everything is accounted for and in place.
So the interview.
The last conversation still.
So yeah, this is Nancy Grace. She kind of talks to a couple people plus the mother. And she kind of gives the rundown of the situation.
Dylan had with his dad was about his excitement for the crop he had just planted.
He wanted to see it grow. He wasn't going to leave. There was nothing that was going to take him away from here.
Think of the thing you love the most in the world. I know what it is. It's my children, John, David, and Lucy. Nothing
Yeah,
within
I
my
took
power
Nightbot off.
could separate me from
Sorry,
them.
Geneva.
Now, I grew up in farmland, and a farmer loves his or her land. It's a love I can't even describe.
On foot,
And this
not too
teen
much,
boy,
but like I said, we
Dylan
haven't seen the
Rounds, loved
drone footage,
his
so
land, his hopes, his dreams, his plans, his futures, all wrapped up in that land. So why would he leave it? He wouldn't. With me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now about the disappearance of this teen boy, Dylan Rounds. But before I introduce them, I want to go to a very special guest joining us. This is Dylan's mother, Candace Cooley. Miss Cooley, thank you for being with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Miss Cooley, before I get into the entire story about what
Yeah.
you've been through and what your family's discovered
Yeah, this is
so
a
far in
desert
the
toy.
search you did just about 48 hours ago, I want you to tell me about the moment you realized Dylan is missing.
So it was Memorial Day, Monday, May 30th. And Dylan's friend JD called me around 11 o'clock. I was working in my office and asked if I had heard from Dylan. And I said no. And he said, well, Karen called and said they haven't heard from him from Saturday. Now, it is not typical for Dylan to go 2 or 3 days without talking to him, but he always talks to either myself, his father Justin, or his grandparents. So when we put together that he had not talked to any of us, that's when I instantly knew. Because he's always in contact with one of the three, and my husband and I packed up and headed down because I knew. And especially where he had been planting, he was just trying to finish up before the rain because there was rain in Lucin that weekend to make sure his crop was in. And I knew because he should have called us all and been like, I finished. It's done. I got it in, and the rain's going to get on it. This is great. And nobody had heard anything since Saturday morning, May 28th at 6:51 a.m.
Yeah, so that board you just pointed out, I actually kind of lifted that up and checked it. So that one I know. There's a few others. This one I checked. But anything that's up here, I mean, still, and I could have missed. I didn't go too as far as the drone did, obviously. I don't know, it's tough to say, but I think I went about maybe 3/4 of them. Oh, see, here I am, as you can see. Oh, I'm just starting to walk. He's already beat me. So yeah, I had my camera. So we had the camera on the ground, and then we had the aerial view. So we were definitely covering all areas. So this is part 2 of that. We have 5 clips, so this is 2 of 5. And then after we do this wash, we move to another spot, and then I'll show you on the Google Earth where we went to.
Okay, how are you pinpointing that time?
The second
Saturday
wash that we do is a lot deeper.
morning at 6:51.
Phone records.
Phone records.
Yep.
Okay, and what does that phone record reveal?
So he'd talked to his grandmother actually, and she called him and he said, I can't talk, I got to get my seed truck, my grain truck. He has a 10-wheeler full of his triticale seed. I got to get it in the shed. It's raining because, the rain will ruin the seed. He had a tarp on it, but it wasn't the best tarp. There was holes, so he was just trying to protect his seed and take it to the shop, the little shed that's 5 miles away to protect it. And then he said, I'll call you back, and nobody's heard from him since.
And that was
Okay, so just to show you guys, this is east and this would be north. So we're kind of flying east mostly, slightly north, but it's east. And now we're kind of turning north.
6:51 a.m. on May 28th.
Correct.
And May 28th was what day of the week?
Saturday.
So he was up
Oh,
working on
thank
Saturday
you.
morning before 7 a.m.
Correct. Always. Gotta get up early and get going.
A lot of people can't connect with farmers' hours.
Thank you, Bella.
We grew up on farmers' hours, so I'm up every day at least at 5. But most people are on, they revolve it around going to school and work.
Correct.
But it's not typical. It is typical for him to be up very early in the morning. So speaking to his grandmother at 6:51 a.m. would have been normal.
Correct. And the only time, he'd sleep in would be if he was up baling hay all night. He doesn't go to bed till 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, so he'll sleep till 8.
That's a pretty big endeavor for a 19-year-old boy to be running his own farm. How did that happen?
So his grandfather and him partnered on this farm where the family farm is with his father's up in eastern Idaho, the Idaho Falls area, and ground is just too expensive. So
I will show you that when I can. I know someone asked me the farm and location. I will show you that here in a minute. Thank you, Bella, for the $10. I appreciate it. That really helps us. It definitely cost a lot to go out there. Yeah, gas, it was crazy. And then blowing the tires, I've got to go get those fixed. But thank you guys, because we want to go out again. And we'll show you. We met up with some other searchers at the end, and they really want us to come back out there, especially since we have the drone, because there's areas obviously we can get into that they can't. And so they really want us to come out, I believe, this Saturday.
Dylan's always done custom work since he was 16, working for farmers. He got a tractor, he got a baler, he'd go do custom work, and he's been saving. And so him and his grandfather partnered on this farm so that he could start doing his own. The last couple years, he hauls beets in a full semi. In Idaho, you don't have to have a CDL, it'd be 21. He's done that for 2 years, so he's been constantly saving money, so that he can work towards putting his crop in.
What is custom work?
So that's baling somebody else's hay, hauling somebody else's product, swathing somebody else's hay, also just doing the same exact work, but doing it with your equipment, but it's somebody else's crop.
So this was interesting. I think Nick was following these tracks. As you can see, there's some tracks right here. Look kind of fairly fresh, actually. I think he was kind of checking that out. What was the question? I gotta see the question real quick. Yeah, so I've heard a lot. I would assume they would have mentioned that, because clearly, they were taking a picture of the front of the truck. So I'm assuming that must have been something that he did, Dylan. Or they would have probably had mentioned that early on, like along with the seat being pulled up and the gear being put into 4L.
Gotcha. But now he's doing his own thing on that land he and his grandfather partnered on, right?
He still does both. So he spent half of the spring helping the Wine Cup gamble, tear out some ground. He drilled all of their grain to make money to be able to purchase the seed and do everything on his own farm. So he still does both. The kid.
So his farm would have been like
the only time he gets a little bit of
right
free
out
time
here.
is winter when you can't farm.
To Dr.
The
Jory
grain,
Clausen joining me,
the grain truck and
psychologist,
everything is out about right
faculty
here.
St. Leo University and author of Operation SOS. Dr. Jory, thank you for being with me. I'm listening to Candace Cooley. This is Dylan's mom, and I'm learning something about him. And this is very important to the investigation. And I'll ask Deputy Chief Elwood and Justin Borman to jump in on this. But if you trust somebody to come on your farm and harvest your crop and tear up your ground, aerate, tear up your ground, prepare your ground, bring in the crop, that is a very trustworthy, reliable person. Somebody that's up at 4 and 5 in the morning, works till 4 a.m. bringing in a crop, that tells me this is not like a lot of people that go missing. They're out on the street. They're doing drugs. They're in crack houses. They're at a bar till 3
Over
o'clock
2
in
weeks.
the morning. You don't know who they're coming in contact with. You see what I mean? This is not a
Yes.
high-risk life. It's a hard-working life. Somebody trustworthy that people want on their farm. You got to really trust somebody to have them on your farm, possibly with your equipment and your land and your crop. That's your future. That's your money for the whole next year.
So I'm going to pause this just to show you how, so here's, let me back it up just a little bit. So you can barely make it out, but when I play it, you'll see. So our car is back here. I think I tried to make it almost about a mile on foot in this wash. Oh, it's kind of going too fast. But yeah, you see me. I kind of went up off the ridge a little bit just to see. I mean, I mostly stayed in the wash, but I kind of went up. So like when I went one direction, I went through the wash, and then when I was coming back, I kind of came back outside of the wash just in case if I might have missed something. Plus, I would have had a kind of an overview looking at everything in the wash. It's really tough because, especially being on foot, because the biggest thing is rattlesnakes, and if you get bit, there's no hospital nearby, and so yeah, you're in big trouble if you get bit by a rattle. So, you know, that's not something you can just come by with anti-venom.
Is that crop? And people would bring this 19-year-old boy in to do a man's work. That's very reliable.
Let me tell you.
What? Tell me, Candace.
He started, so when Dylan was 13, 14, 15, he was so frustrated because no farmer could hire him because of workman's comp issues in Idaho. So when he turned 16, he was so happy. We have a huge potato farmer here named Albert Lockwood, and they hired Dylan at 16 to come drive a crossover. So your crossover digs a whole bunch of rows of potatoes, puts them into one single row.
Thank you,
so
Louise.
That
Thank you so
main
much.
harvester can come over. You know, you don't have to do so much work.
Louisa,
it just cuts
sorry.
down some of the work. That's the pictures of him on the tractor I put on Facebook yesterday. 16 years old, and you have Albert's an older gentleman, late 70s, I'm not exactly sure. You have him who's done potatoes his whole life saying, this is one of the best.
Yeah, he was ahead of his ages. I could see y'all saying that. Yeah, he was definitely ahead of his, he's just born to work. He just wanted to work and prove everybody wrong that, you know, you could grow stuff out in the desert. And he was doing it.
Operators I've ever had. This kid has it. That was at 16.
Oh gosh, I better pause that real quick and I'll skip it forward. Might get copyrighted here. Okay, so that was 2 videos here. Like I said, we got 3, and then I've got 2. One I want to show you guys of me on the ground. So, but yeah, there's my cousin Nick, the trusty pilot. Very good with it. There you go. What a classy guy. Very classy guy. And thank goodness he was out there with me. Okay, so... oh, this is a short clip. Okay. I think this was... okay, so I think we were trying to get it off the ground. So the wind, the problem was the wind started really picking up for a minute after our first run. So, as you can see, the wind is just going nuts. So we're like, oh, maybe better wait for a minute. So that's that clip. So let me show you where we're doing flight 2. So we got 3 flights. So we just showed you flight 1. 2 and 3 I'm really interested in because, like I said, the one that I was on the ground walking through some of the let's see, oh, Google Earth. Okay, so like I said, we as you can see, we kind of covered this area. This is just approximate. I'm gonna readjust this. It's gonna take a while, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send all this footage obviously to the Facebook group of Dylan Rounds for the family, so they can know where we've searched. Obviously they can have the video just in case they need to look back at something. Also, I'm going to send them a detailed map of where we searched. That way they can see, hey, this is where these guys have been. This is where they flew. So, and all right, so flight 2. So then we decided, because we'd been talking to the locals, who were very nice to us, and they said that they had been seen in, so there was a search party on the Elko side, the Nevada side, They searched an area about like this, like a half moon. And then on this side, they searched something like similar on Bald Eagle. So we didn't want to go as far deep into Bald Mountain, so we wanted to search something, like I said, keep an eye on these washes here. So this is the approximate path of Flight 2. This wash wasn't that deep, but some of them can be like 8-10 feet. I mean, they can range from a couple feet to 15 feet, bigger. They're all sizes. The one you're looking at, maybe 5 feet, 5. Kind of depends. Sometimes they get deeper, sometimes they get shorter.
The iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Now, take a listen to Emily Tenser.
The Box Elder County Sheriff's Department and Weber County Fire and Rescue searched the area last week, along with helicopters, a plane, and search parties on foot, ATVs, and horses.
They called off the search, Box Elder, because they were 95% sure there's nothing, no sign of Dylan out in the 3-by-5 mile area.
His boots were found 5 miles west of his camper.
I'll never forget the look on Candace's face. And I can only imagine what I looked like when we saw those boots.
Each day is agony for his family, who live all the way up in Idaho. They're offering a $20,000 reward to bring Dylan home.
I just came back today just to kind of poke around, like, because I can't hardly leave here. That $20,000 is burning a hole in my pocket. I want to spend it today.
If you know anything about Dylan's disappearance, his family is begging you to call police. He's 5'10", weighs around 160 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes.
We got to find this boy. This is such a good...
So from what I understand, this has been pushed to, some kind of... I think with the evidence found on the boot, because they know they sent it in for forensic, so they're kind of treating this as, I believe, a homicide unofficially. Not sure. That's something I need to kind of look more into.
Good boy. You don't believe me? Take a listen to Dave Mack, Crime Online.
Dylan Rounds has been a farmer since he was a little boy. From the time he could walk, he would try to keep up with his dad and grandpa as they worked outside. Dylan could drive a tractor by himself before most kids his age could ride a bike. When he was 10 years old, Dylan was growing pumpkin patches and sweet corn to sell. Citizens of the Rigby community knew every summer there would be Dylan sweet corn for sale under the county line overpass. Dylan attended Rigby High School and began farming grain a few years ago in the desert town of Lucin, Utah, near the Utah-Nevada border.
And a lot of people Dylan's age will get excited about the game that Friday night or something happening in their social...
Yeah, and Dylan...
Go ahead.
Is that
He
it?
never
Okay,
did any
thank
of that.
you, Rachel.
He wasn't the football game kid. He didn't socialize in any of that. I mean, Dylan, it worked out perfect for Dylan because he was doing online school so he could farm, and then COVID hit, and he was the right age that he could drop out because he was working. So Dylan, and yes, his father and I didn't like the fact that he dropped out, but the fact of the matter is there was no stopping the kid. There was no stopping him. There was nothing we could do to stop him from going to farm. That's all he wanted to do. You take a kid who doesn't even know how to play video games in his generation.
We say trash bags?
That sums it all up.
Wow, doesn't know how to play video games. That really does sum it up. What would make Dylan Rounds happy, this teen boy? Take a listen to Dave Mack, crimeonline.com.
Dylan lives by himself in a camper trailer on a remote piece of land in Lucin. Family members last heard from him when he called his grandmother the morning of Saturday, May 28th. Dylan had been busy getting his crops in and was really excited about recent rain, but a little down because the rain prevented him from getting all of the planting done. With the rain putting a damper on his farming activity, Dylan drove 30 miles to the town of Montello, Nevada, where he was seen on Memorial Day
I don't know
weekend.
if I went back far
When family
enough.
members realized Dylan had not been in contact since he spoke to his grandmother, they began trying to get in touch with him. Failing that, the family
Okay.
went to the farm and immediately called law enforcement.
Okay, interesting. Maybe it's back this way a little bit. So black trash bags, huh? Was it closer to the wash or was it more outside the wash? Something dark about 2 minutes around. Okay. Alright, I'll make note of it. Okay. So I don't want to keep replaying it back. Thank you. You know what? I'll just take notes. And then every time someone said 2022. Okay, cool. Alright. I will go back and I can zoom in on that. Yeah, you guys see anything? Point it out as best you can. And I will... Obviously, I'll say something, and so I'll know when to go back and look at it. So, thank you guys. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Like I said, I don't know how many people are in here right now. I appreciate everybody tuning in, helping us, because like I said, we just hadn't had time to look at this footage. It takes a lot to extract it because it's in 4K. I've had 6 hours of sleep in the last 2 days. It was really tough to go to sleep last night. It's weird when you're out there and you know that you might, with the expectations, you might come across a body or bones or something. It's weird because you kind of have this adrenaline. And so, and it was still weird, even though it had been hours since we'd been out searching. I feel like I still had that adrenaline, and I feel like it's literally just like ended this morning, and so I am just beat. And of course, the night before, I was so worried that we might forget something, so I was up most of the night trying to make sure we had everything, which was great because I grabbed a shovel last minute, which was a good thing that I grabbed a shovel because, well, I think someone actually mentioned taking a shovel. So, but, yeah, because when we busted the tire, when you bust a tire and you're on loose rock, when you're jacking up a tire, it just keeps going down. So you actually have to dig to put the tire on. Someone just donated. Thank you so much, Aunt Clara. Thank you so much for the $20. I appreciate that. That really helps us because we can go back out there. We really want to go back out there this Saturday. Maybe sooner, but definitely Saturday because we're going to go. We want to go with another group. Tina says this thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, you always. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Bill, so much, buddy, for your $3. Thank you so much. So if you guys are just tuning in, we're watching basically unseen drone footage. It took a while to extract, so we haven't really seen this. Even though Nick has a camera and he's kind of seeing what it is, it's just on his phone. He has a GPS on it, so he doesn't really get to see all the details. Thank you, Geneva. Thank you so much for the $10. Thank you guys so much. I promise, if we can get back out there, we will. I just need at least a day to rest. I literally have a heating pad on my back. It was so bad. The dry back. But yeah, so if you guys see anything, please just put it in the chat. If you're replaying this, put it in the comments and try to timestamp it so we can go back and look at this because like I said, I'm going to put this all together for the family, send it up to the Facebook page. I'm also going to put the GPS coordinates, and so they can see where we've flown. And so hopefully that'll can at least give them, you know, one less area to have to look. Or areas, I guess you should say. Yeah, Daisy, I am literally, after this live, I am going to probably sleep for the rest of the day. I am not even kidding. I am exhausted. But like I said, we're zoomed out a little bit, or not zoomed out, but we're high up because, like I said, we're filming in 4K. So if that way we can get a wider view, and if there is anything suspicious, I can zoom in, and we're not going to really lose quality. And so that way we can cover much more area. You know, we were kind of looking for tracks. Yes, like the black garbage bags. We were looking for anything that might look like you're covering something up, like a piece of wood. Thank you, Darlene. Thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much. So I'll thank you so much, Michelle. So I'm gonna keep playing this interview here.
Joining me right now, special guest Nate Eaton, our friend and colleague and news director of EastIdahoNews.com. You can find him on
we'll take a
Twitter
look at that at the
Nate
end, Cup of
News
Color,
Now.
for sure.
Nate, start at
Sandy Floyd says, I don't know how you can see disturbed ground and all that dirt. Thanks for filming this and for helping with the search. You are you are a good egg. Oh, thank you so much, Sandy. Thank you so much. Like I said, we can't wait to get back out there and help. Whatever we can do. Like I said, we met the locals. We met friends of the family. I haven't met the family yet, but we met friends of the family. Everybody was so nice out there. And we can go out there with you guys without the support from you guys.
At the beginning, don't leave.
So this is all a team effort.
Candace said this all started when Dylan spoke with his grandmother that Saturday morning. He said, I gotta get off the phone so that I can get this seed in. And then by Monday morning, when the family had not heard anything from him, they drove to the farm. What's interesting is when I spoke with Candace the other
just
day,
to give you, I'm sorry, I'm going to play just to give you guys a little direction. Let me just go back because this is almost the end of the clip anyway. So this is the neighbors that we met. We're parked out about right here. This is Lion Mountain. So we're looking east right now. Bald Mountain would be right behind us.
Dylan's pickup truck was still there, but it appeared as if it had been pressure washed. It was clean, but it had been raining and it was muddy in that area. So somehow that truck got clean and was left there right outside of Dylan's camper where he was sleeping.
I don't like that
And there was no
all.
track.
And Candace Cooley, I hear you jumping in. Guys, this is Dylan's mother, and we are begging you for help finding Dylan. She's saying that the truck looked pressure washed, and I just heard Candace say that there were no tracks, and you think there would have been since it had been raining. But also tell me about
That's a great
the
question,
seat
Jennifer.
position. A lot of you may
I
remember
don't
the
think
Tara
so.
Grinstead case, this gorgeous teacher down in South Georgia who goes missing. Well, one thing that jumped out at me when we first learned Tara was missing, I was talking to her mother about it, was that her seat position was not where she would have had it. It was way back. Like when I'm 5'1", when I get in the car, my husband, who is 6'3", has been in the car, I have to push it up, right? Same thing here, right, Candace Cooley?
Yes, exact same thing. And I am 4'11", and Dylan is between 5'10" and 5'11", and he is all leg. His seat is all the way back. His steering wheel is up, and I could drive it. I could have comfortably drove it without moving the seat.
So that's not right at all.
No. And there were no tracks behind the pickup. It was muddy when myself and my husband, Justin, his father, and our daughter, Brooklyn, pulled in. We left tracks on Monday still. if that pickup would have moved Saturday, there would have been tracks. Also, there's no footprint
Thank you so much,
anywhere around
Michelle.
that camper. And we were told the two gentlemen that worked with Dylan were, well, the one helped him off and on, went out to the farm to find Dylan, walked around the pickup, walked around the camper, tried to, you know, what's going on. Why didn't they leave footprints? We were leaving footprints on Monday.
You know, Kirk Nurmi joining me, as you know him, renowned defense attorney, cast member, Radical Body Transformation Season 3.
Yeah, it should be all the way up at, yeah, it should be all the way cranked up. I might have to adjust the settings. Like I said, I'm still going to upload this to the family as well. So this one, all right, so this is, this one was very interesting. Okay, so this one's, and this one I've got footage of the air and the ground, and wait until you guys see this. This is very interesting. So like I said, we started out over here, and then we went back. So this is what's called Pilot Drive. And so after talking to the neighbors up here, who were very sweet, very generous, they told us that Dylan likes, because this is a watering hole right here. So, you know, if you need your water, there's a spring that comes out, fresh water. It comes out of a pipe somewhere in here. So this is where kind of everybody goes if they need to, you know, get their water. And so this is kind of a popular spot right here. What's interesting is the water hole itself is like, it's like a swamp. And so we thought that was kind of suspicious because, or this is something we'd want to look at because, you know, clearly people dump bodies in water. And especially something like swampy. So we definitely wanted to take a look at it. And also there's a wash that's really deep that we wanted to get a look at. Actually, it's this one right here. This one is very deep. So this last footage is the big one. And we fly through the wash here, and then I'm on boots on the ground in here. And then if you guys saw my trailer, you watch me go into what's called a root cellar. That is at this watering hole. And yeah, I was pretty scared. I'm not gonna lie. So as you can see, it's a much deeper wash. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, it's like finding a needle in a haystack of more haystacks. But this would be interesting because there are tracks here. The only problem is the wind started getting tougher, so we couldn't go as long or as far as we wanted to because the wind obviously sucks up more of the battery, and we had 3 batteries, and you can usually get maybe 20 to 30 minutes out of them, but if it's windy, obviously that comes less. So he went up the wash a little bit, and then he's going to come over to the watering hole. He knew that I was kind of on the ground, so that's why he kind of focused on the wash, but let me play that. Finish that interview here.
Amazon Prime and author of Trapped with Miss Arias. you will remember him from defending Jody Arias. Kirk Nurmi, I'm not holding that against you. Isn't it true, Kirk Nurmi, how one detail, like we're talking about his truck, you can learn so much from one piece of evidence, Kirk Nurmi?
Yeah, Nancy, when I think about this truck and the possible pressure washing and the movement of the seat,
those are just shrubs.
How far it traveled. Did somebody have to buy
But they're
gas
pretty big.
in order to get this vehicle around? How many gas stations are there in town? Have they been looked at?
There's only one.
Have these workers been questioned? So there's not too many people in this circle. This is an industrious young man, passionate about his farming. He's not going to be distracted by too much, and we know that he had these 2 workers.
Oh, okay, thank you,
My
Bronzo.
understanding is none of these people have been questioned. I don't know if the gas
So yeah, we could see some tracks.
if there's
So
footage, what have
obviously
you.
we wanted.
There should be.
Sorry. Obviously we wanted to go a lot further. Especially if you see some fresher tracks. But this did also happen 2 weeks ago, so it's tough to say. You got tracks up there. What is this? Wait a minute. Hold on. Hopefully Nikki turns back around. Okay, he's scanning up here. I just saw something. Hold on. Hold the phone. I just saw something in the middle right here. Where was it? It's a little bit further. Take a drink. What is that? This right here. Ooh. What is that? Hopefully Nikki gets it. I said it's hard for him to see a lot because he's got a map in front of him too. What is that? Oh, he does see it. Okay, good. What is that? I can't tell if that's just a broken piece of machinery, some sort. Huh. Interesting, though. I'll make note of that. I'll definitely mark some suspicious stuff for the... Yeah, I don't know what it is. It almost looks like a broke down wash machine or something. I don't know what. I can't zoom in right now, unfortunately. I know. I don't know. I have to use a special program, and I have to... since it's in 4K, I have to kind of let it load up and everything to zoom in. So, definitely mark that. It's interesting. Could be nothing, but I'll definitely... Yeah. Yeah, kind of, huh? Interesting. Might be. That's the kind of stuff you want to almost look under, as well. Yeah. Yeah, so that was at 5 minutes. Okay. So, see these guys here? Alright. Okay. So, as you can see, there's a dirt bike, there's 2 trucks. Okay, this scared the living shnikes out of me, okay? So, what you guys don't know, while he's doing this, I am actually at the water hole, and we're going to play this, the footage from the water hole, because it's crazy. And there's something I could have missed on there, because there's a lot of stuff going on. But, So this is kind of towards the end, but these guys roll up. I'm kind of over here, and if you guys have ever seen Mad Max, they had a guy on a motorcycle, or a dirt bike, excuse me, up front, and then you had 2 trucks behind it. So it looked like this just convoy, and this guy on the dirt bike, he's kind of going off-road in front of him, and Like, so I guess I didn't tell you. I forgot to tell you guys. So we heard his story from the locals, and I'll show you on the map here in a minute. And it happened after this Dylan thing. But apparently on Pilot Road, further south, there was some kids, or teenagers anyway, driving down the road. They had seen this vehicle up ahead of them, facing them. They kind of got a weird feeling. They kind of stopped, like 40, 50 feet away. They kind of stopped, and it's just one way almost. It's just a dirt road. And they got a bad vibe. And then all of a sudden, they started getting shot at. So they were in a truck. So they turned around, and these people that were shooting at them started driving and chasing these guys. And luckily, the kid or kids, I can't remember if there was one or two, but sadly, unfortunately, the truck must have got hit somehow and it got disabled. And so the kid had to actually bail out of the truck and run into the woods up towards like Bald Eagle Mountain. I can't talk. That's, like I said, I'm running off zero sleep. So that happened after this Dylan thing. It was pretty crazy. So when I saw these guys pulling up, I was kind of scared because we didn't have guns. We're gonna probably try to go out and get a gun for protection. But this time, yeah, we didn't have any protection other than knives and mace, which that isn't going to do much for. Well, I mean, if you had a machete, that'd do the job for a rattlesnake. Yeah, there are some tracks for sure. Oh, thank you so much, Samantha. Thank you so much for becoming a member. Thank you. So this is the watering hole. You won't get to see too much aerial footage, but I'll show you the boots on the ground. But like I said, if you're just joining in and you're rewatching this, if you see anything suspicious, please put a timestamp in the comments so I can go back and look at it. Like I said, I'm going to be uploading this to the Facebook page when I can. Sometime tomorrow. I've got to do a lot of editing, and I've got to show them where we search, so that way they can know where we search. But so anyway, as you can see, we're meeting up with these guys, and I'll talk about this. So this is the watering hole right here. And there is... it's like a little swamp, but there's like a little fresh water pipe that comes out. And so, this is kind of where people go to get the water. So these guys are really cool. So these guys know Justin. That's the father of Dylan. They're friends of the family. I've worked with I don't think they've worked with Dylan himself, but they've worked with the family of Dylan, the father and stuff. And so we got to talking to them. And so they were out there searching when we were. We had no idea they were out there. I think they were searching Bald Eagle, and then I think they were searching up this way. Apparently they found some sketchy areas out this way here, which is west. And there was a certain building they found where there had been some air mattresses that were still inflated and some sleeping bags next to them. Apparently this building didn't have a ceiling. They were so sketched out, and these are three guys, and they're really nice guys. But if you saw them, you didn't know them. They're kind of scary. I'd say they're kind of intimidating looking. And they were heavily armed. And they said when they were coming up on this building, they were scared. They said they were concerned. So, anyway, obviously they were super fascinated with our drone. because obviously they just got the ATV and the bike, and they said, man, it would be so nice to have us come out there with them this Saturday, especially to fly the drone, because we can take the drone and fly it into the building with the air mattress. Oh, and speaking of the air mattress, like I said, that thing was still full of air, they said, which for an air mattress, anybody has an air mattress, those things usually deflate. I mean, within a few days, they're a pain in the butt. So they thought that was very suspicious. So yeah, we got talking to them, and they want to get a hold of me and meet up this Saturday, which is great. Yeah, thank you, Karen Lee, because apparently they were going to try to watch my video because they were kind of interested to see what we got, to kind of see where we've searched, so that way when we go out there, we can kind of start narrowing down. All right, this is where these, everybody's kind of searched. Now let's focus on areas that we haven't. So, yeah, the more the better. Yeah, and yeah, I'd feel a lot better. Oh, dang. Oh, I like that comment. I like that comment. Thank you, Thought Criminal. I like that comment. So yeah, let me show you the footage of this water hole here, because it's interesting. Let me water hole. Okay, so there's 2 videos. This is the second one. Okay. Matter of fact, I'll probably play the audio for you guys. Oh yeah, and I'll tell you a little funny story here.
Oh, another train. How come we always get here when a train comes?
Okay. I'm not going to turn up too much because the wind's blowing, and obviously it's just picking up the wind, so it's going to be kind of annoying. So, fast forward a little bit. Here comes another train. Scoot forward a little bit. So, as you can see, the second I saw that was... Obviously, I mean, that's typical. You go out anywhere in the desert like that, all the signs are shot at, so it's not like anything new. People like to shoot it because it makes that ting sound from far away. But people do like to shoot that up. But it talks about the railroads and stuff. And a little bit of the history, which is interesting. There used to be a town here in the 1950s. I have to read that. But, but it's not there anymore. So we're going to go forward just a little bit to show you, get to where the sketchiness is. So, like I said, I had, those birds scared the living hell out of me. So it's kind of creepy looking. Like I said, you got these burnt barrels. For someone that's not, used to this kind of terrain all the time, even though, I mean, I can't say I'm not used to it. As a kid, I used to go out to these places all the time. But it's been a long while since I've been, out to this kind of place. Fast forward just a little bit. But if you were going to hide a body, and if this is a lot closer to his, where his camper and his truck were found. So I thought this would be an interesting spot. So as you can see, it's like a little swamp. It's not deep. I'd say... Oh yeah, can you put my email up, please? I would say it's about maybe 2 feet deep. So as you can see, this is where the fresh water comes out. This little pipe here. And then I would say it's about 40... 20-30 feet wide by 10-15 feet 20-30 feet long, 10 to 15 feet wide, this little watering hole. Let me turn it down because that wind's just kind of... So This, I go back into this area here, so I kind of go on the outside here. But it was so sketchy. Yeah. Yeah, my heart was pounding just watching the footage. Yeah, like I said, it's crazy. I can't tell you what it's like because this is the first time officially searching for somebody. I mean, I've always wanted to be involved. As you guys know, since basically day one since I've had my YouTube channel, I've always tried to advocate for the missing. I try not to say I'm an advocate for the missing, but I always try to advocate for the missing as much as I can. And so it was great to be able to get out there and actually do something. At the same time, yes, adrenaline rush, because you're and it's all mental. It's just like that there's that possibility you could discover something. It's really weird. Yeah, it was kind of a train bridge. Yes, if you're asking about that, yeah. What was I saying? But yeah, so it's really weird. So, like I said, I've been on this like adrenaline, whatever you want to call it, and it just finally dumped, and so that's why I'm just exhausted. But your just subconscious knows that you might be stumbling along something, along with the dangers of the rattlesnakes. I don't care seeing a coyote or a bobcat. The rattlesnakes scare me because you step on them and you get bit, you're in big trouble. Unless you got a helicopter. Yeah, like I said, we're going to volunteer with the Friends of the Family. And like I said, they have some inside information because they've been out there a couple times. And we really want to work with them because, like I said, they're friends of the family. So we really want to go out there with them this coming Saturday. So yeah, this is what's called a root cellar. At the time, I didn't know. I wasn't sure if it was a mine shaft or what. And as you can see, it's pitch black. You can't see anything, and I couldn't either. Well, I'm like, man, if you're going to hide a body, that's probably a good spot. So I went in it. Oh, yeah. And, yep, I'm like, I can't see a flippin' thing. I'm like, all right, I'm coming back out. All right, I got to turn on my flashlight. So hold on. I go in there. Yeah, hold on, stay tuned. Alright, where is the water hole? No, I got it. Fountain, train track, wash, washboard, wash, trail searches, sun tunnel, train track wash. Where is it? Oh, there it is, cellar wash. Okay, here we go. So yeah, to try to use my flashlight on the phone, which, of course, I brought tons of flashlights and I didn't grab one with me. So this is a root cellar. So what they use a root cellar for is because it keeps it cool. So it's kind of like a refrigerator for the desert. But yeah, I was freaked out because, your conscience is telling you, man, you might be expecting, a body or a skeleton to be laying there. So yeah, it was pretty. So luckily it's not too deep. In the beginning, though, I couldn't tell until I had the flashlight on. But luckily, so sadly, unfortunately, I guess when I started filming this, so I'm going to have to fix this and rotate it for you guys. This is going to give you a headache here. So yeah, we're probably not going to watch this. I'm going to have to flip this. But yeah, oh my gosh, and I did want to show you this. Because it is kind of beautiful, even though it's a swamp. I'm sorry, guys, it's at an angle. For some reason, the portrait version switched over to, or the landscape switched to portrait. But yeah, you could see this green stuff not far from the ground. Really lime green-like. Really weird. But as you can see, I mean, if you had all this kind of like algae or whatever this is, you could clearly, or moss or whatever, floating moss, you could clearly throw something in there. And if that's just sticking up at the top, you could, So, yeah, like a foxhole from World War II, yeah. But, yeah, sorry for the side angle. I will fix that. That'll be uploaded to the members. But I do want to show you one thing. Gosh, I wish it wasn't... I wish I could flip it. So, I gotta play this because this did happen to me live while I was recording. So I go back, yeah. Okay. So I go back to the other side of it. Sorry, guys. Like I said, okay, right here. Okay, you're gonna actually catch this in real time. So I go into this creepy spot where there's all these branches hanging over, and there's a little trail, but it's like super tiny. And so I go in it. Now keep in mind, Nick is not with me. He's like 100 yards away, so I'm just all by myself basically. And I start hearing branches break near me. And here, I'll play the clip. Hopefully I don't cuss in this. Sorry that it's on its side. I will fix this. But you're gonna hear twig snapping here in just any second. Coming. Yeah, did you see it? Jesus. So I know it's kind of hard to hear, but so you're gonna see something square across. So I was hearing all these twigs snapping. You think it's me, but that was not me. That was actually something snapping all those twigs. And, oh, God, so fast. Oh, God. One more time. I'll get it. Okay. It's kind of hard to see. It was a squirrel. It was a squirrel. And I'm pretty sure that squirrel... I'm pretty sure I had to go change my pants after that. That damn squirrel... literally nearly gave me a heart attack. That was probably... That was it. Like I said, I started hearing twigs snapping around me. I'm like, oh dear, there's someone in here, because you could definitely hide in there and not see somebody. That's why we wanted to check it out. And yeah, so I started hearing like what sounded like twigs snapping around me. And I'm like, oh God. And then, yeah, the killer squirrel. Yeah, I see this little thing running across. And I'm like, oh, it's the killer. It's a damn squirrel. But, oh, it freaked me out. Oh, yeah, Code Brown for sure. Oh, my God. Yeah, it's too bad the view. I have to fix that. I forgot this was, like I said, when I went in the cellar, then I turned it, because I had to use the flashlight, so I had my phone in portrait, and then didn't realize I kept it in portrait and didn't switch it. So yeah, good old squirrel, give me a heart attack. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's it. So we watched the aerial footage. I think you guys saw some trash bags. Definitely go look back at that that thing on the last one that looks like a sink or something. And we'll show you one last thing. This will be uploaded to the... well, there's two more things I want to show you guys. So look at the sun tunnel. So these are called sun tunnels. And so when the equinox is coming really soon, And so what happens is you got the sun coming up in the east, sets in the west, and it'll actually, you can see it through these tunnels here. It's pretty cool. They use this for the summer solstice. Or is this summer solstice or equinox? Summer solstice. Yeah, summer solstice. But yeah, pretty cool. Sun tunnels. So just to show you the sun tunnels. Thank you guys so much. Let me show you just on the map. Just kind of the overview of what we did. So you can see we're at the watering hole. So I need to fix this because obviously I was on boots here and actually Nick flew this wash right here. So I need to fix that for the family. But the sun tunnels, so, you know, Dylan's grain truck and everything right here. And if you just head south, there's the sun tunnels. So as you can see, we were here, and so we weren't far from, you know, Dylan's area where he, you know, stores his stuff here. But apparently 5 miles west is where he keeps his camper and his truck. So that's why we kind of came over in this area here. But from what we gathered from those guys, let me switch the view here a little bit to give you an idea. So we met the guys here. They said the area that they want us, you know, we all together. I'm going to see if this might be it too. Oh my gosh. Did I just find it? No. Let's see, when's this taken? 2019. I don't know if the shack. I've got to look some more, but they said they found a shack somewhere in maybe this vicinity here. Like I said, scared the living hell out of them. Like I said, these guys that were loaded, they felt something was suspicious with this building. And then they also found something east that was pretty interesting, which was east of the water hole. So somewhere in this, let's see, so where's Dylan's area? Dylan's area is right here. Okay. So as you can see, we weren't too far from Dylan's area, from the water hole. But, yeah, they found some strange stuff in between him and somewhere around in here. So I think when we go Saturday, I think we want to do a little bit of drone footage here and a lot of searching over in this area here, because we know that Nevada Elko searched this here, like Half Moon. Utah side, Utah searched something like this on this side of Bald Eagle. And then you can kind of see where we've kind of searched. I mean, it's it's definitely a needle in a bell of haystacks, but you know, all we can do is try, and with your guys' support, we'd love to go back out there. I appreciate everybody, the members. I said it it felt really good. It's something to be able to go out there and do. It's one thing to feature a missing person, to actually be out there. It felt really good. So if you guys want to see how I popped my tire, this is what I had to deal with. Oh wait, no, this is me walking through the wash. Excuse me. That's not it. Washboard. My story getting full. So now this is the smooth area. So when I told you guys about those guys that encountered the guys with the guns that got shot at, let me quickly show you the way we left real quick. Let me show you where that happened. So let me reorient myself real quick here. So we're looking northwest. Okay, so this is how we drove home, which I will never take the street again, but we wanted to take it just in case, you know, maybe we might have saw something suspicious. So this is Pilot Road. Somewhere along this area in here was the encounter, and it might have been slightly more south, but I think it was definitely in this area here where this kid or kids ran into a group of strange guys parked looking this way up to no good and started shooting at their truck, then chased them. Their truck broke down and literally they just started running towards the mountain. So pretty crazy. So yeah, so we drove through this. It was just terrible. Just really bad rocks, really thick rocks, sharp rocks, popped the tire. So there's Nick. There's a little booty. I'm not trying to film his butt. But yeah, popped the tire. And then what stinks about doing this is when you jack it up and you got soft ground. Every time you jack up the car, it just sinks. So you can't really get the car too far off the ground. You're supposed to get blocks. Luckily, we did have one block. I forgot. I'm glad I brought it. And then you have to have a shovel because you actually have to dig your tire. So, but luckily we had a spare. We got back. We had to crawl back home. You don't want to drive on a spare. I know he's conscious, Nick, of his little butt. So, anywho, oh yeah, that's accidentally filming. So, we get everything. Pop tire 2. Yeah, this is also a wash that I wanted to show you guys that we want to look at. So this is the bridge when we caught the train. We thought this was kind of suspicious. Dump a body under a bridge or something. This is probably footage I'd probably send to the parents as well, because there's a lot of stuff that I could have missed that I could have walked right by. But so we did our best with what we had. But the drone can do some amazing thing. No, that's not how you twerk. Oh yeah, I was like, oh gosh, I wonder if. So this is a little tunnel. I'm like, oh gosh, that would be a perfect place because it pops out the other side. But. Nothing was in there, but so many places to hide, if there was a body. Just so many. So many, so. But. So that is it. Like I said, I've got a lot more footage. I've got the footage of the sun tunnels. Let's see, searchers. Yeah, so those are the searchers leaving. Very nice guys. I cannot remember a single name. I apologize, I'm bad with names. But they gave us some inside information. Today I'm not going to talk about any persons of interest. Today is just about this footage because, like I said, we hadn't seen it. But I have heard stories, obviously talking to the locals and talking to them. They've heard a few stories. It's like I said, I don't know what to say because everything was really said to me in confidence, and I don't want to break that because I know some of them they would be watching, and I really wouldn't do that anyway. If I did, I would try to generalize what they told me, but right now I don't know of any way to really say anything without jeopardizing anything. So. But I think what the main thing is just to try to find Dylan. There is some suspicion of Montello. That's about all I'll say on that, is that there was some suspicious activity that a certain group ran into. So, and it was weird because they ran into it at 6 a.m. in the morning, and then we got there at about 11. So I guess it's a good thing we didn't stay in that town for too long. Now, I don't want to say anything bad about that town because I don't know. You know, it seems like, you know, meth heads and other things are being tossed around, and you know, you got to be careful with that kind of stuff, because when I was talking to the locals, yeah, I did see one snake. I don't know if it's a rattler or not, but yes, I did see one snake, and it got my heart going, but not as much as that squirrel. That squirrel nearly gave me a heart attack. I'm not even kidding. But like I said, I talked to the locals here in Lucin, Utah, and they were wonderful people. Absolutely wonderful. So, you know, when you have a YouTube channel, you got to be very, you know, people don't understand, you know, that a lot of people are watching, especially the bigger channels you have, and, you know, you have to be kind of careful when you're talking about POIs and stuff like that, because, you know, I had a very deep conversation with one of the locals, and I kind of really felt really bad because they felt like they were kind of misrepresented. And I can't go into that any more than that, but like I said, what we experienced on Lucin was a great community, and they had nothing but good things to say about Dylan and their family. So, but if those guys that we met up with, I can't remember their name, or gonna watch the live, my email's been dropped multiple times now. Matter of fact, I'll pin this one at the top. Please get a hold of me. Let's see. So we can get together about making a game plan for going out this Saturday. So, but with that, if you have any questions about locations, I can't really talk about the gossip, but if you have any questions, I could probably answer a couple before I go. And once again, I just want to say thank you guys for the support. Yeah, a lot of stuff was told to me in confidence, and you know, and then when you break confidence, that word gets out, and then people aren't going to tell you anything. So, and the reason, you know, so we want to use that for info to help Dylan. So if I blow that, then, you know, and that's not only the reason why I do that, but that's one of many. So yeah, anti-venomins guns. Yep. We'll get there. Like I said, it was a fun trip, a fun experience. Not saying that I got enjoyment looking for a missing person, but you know, it felt good to try to do good, to be out on foot, you know, because I know not everybody can get out and do that. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of you would if you had that opportunity. And so, like I said, when I seen this kid go missing, I featured him early on my channel, and then once I heard that they were getting the support they needed from the law enforcement, and now I've heard that Utah side's been a little bit better than the Elko, the Nevada side, but and then yes, trust the family. I think that's, you know, something that, you know, we definitely gotta, you know, since we've learned from the Naomi Irion case, is, you know, we got to listen to the family for sure. And just if you can, please, and share this case and the awareness. And like I said, I'm going to probably go pass out for the rest of the day. Super tired. And I don't think I'll be going live tomorrow, but then, let's see what today, I don't even know what today is. That's how sad I am. Tired I am. So I'll probably go live again Thursday. I've got, trust the family, exactly. Hashtag trust the family, exactly. But if any family members are watching, because like I said, I've spoke to everybody, friends of the family, neighbors,
But I know Candace has been busy. I mean, she's been doing interview after interview. But if any family members are watching, please get in contact with me. I'd love to have you on the show. And so, with that said, guys, I think we're going to end it there. Thank you guys so much for the support. I love you guys so much. God, you guys have no idea how much I love this community. You guys are, yeah, and great job, Nick. Yeah, my cousin Nick. We got a nickname, Bear Grylls Nick, because he used to kind of just live out in this kind of area. So he's amazing to have standing next to me. So yeah, I did. That's tough. So. So with that said, guys, thank you so much. We will talk to you guys soon.